TikTok. Try to build it on YouTube. Basically anywhere else but Twitch.
What's going on, guys? This video is sponsored by G Fuel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know G Fuel has amazing flavors for the energy formula. We're getting your caffeine along with the multivitamin. But now, G Fuel has come out a brand new product. G Fuel Energy Plus Protein, caffeine and protein. And you get 15 grams of whey protein along with 140 milligrams of caffeine. It's a perfect combination to take before you go to the gym. I enjoy taking protein. Caffeine is a great energy source. It's natural. Your muscles and replenish the muscles and when you break them down. So if you want to give G Fuel, the brand new Energy Plus Protein, a try, all you got to do is go to gfuel.com. And when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. That'll help you save 20% on your complete order. They got cafe mocha, French vanilla latte, and they also have chocolate. If you guys out there, you love your caffeine and you love your damn coffee, look no further. Get the Energy Plus Protein G Fuel, brand new product. Don't wait. Go to gfuel.com. Promo code MIGHTY. Back to the content. But for you, it's worked out. Well, you started on YouTube, then you transition over to Twitch, and you still make your videos on Asmon Gold TV. And for you, if it wasn't for the dentist, you probably wouldn't have done that. And you've been successful by doing what you did. Now you stream and create content full time, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I stream pretty much every single day.
Damn. Every single day. And when you're streaming, I remember last time we were going to do this podcast, I think it was a week ago, but you started a new game. What game have you just started?
Oh, I started playing Dragon's Dogma 1, and it was actually like really... Have you played it before?
I have not.
So the second game is going to come out like really soon. I think it's on the 22nd it gets released. And I played the first one, and it was obviously... But it was really astonishing to see like how actually in a lot of cases, and I wanted to play it. Now, obviously, playing it on stream, like there's games that are better just based off of like kind of how much you have to do, like how much action is there in the game. And like Dragon's Dogma is definitely not a stream game, but it's a great experience. And I've been playing that a lot myself.
Gotcha. Now, how do you dictate what game is good to stream, what game is not? Like, let's say you really, like, for example, for me, I really enjoy playing Street Fighter 6. I love it. I get pissed off. I get emotional about it. I care about the game. I wanted the game to succeed. But when I stream it, it might get about 150, 200 views. But if, let's say, I play UFC 5, which I don't really like playing the game, but I'm in the game, I'll get, like, 1,300 to 2,000 viewers. How do you pick a game where it's like, okay, this is a game I'm going to stream, it's going to kill it? Or do you even stream? Well, I know you have two channels. You have Zach Raw and then you have, Asmon Gold. Yeah. Which one, how do you decide, like, hey, I'm playing on this channel, I'm going to play on this game, on this channel?
I think for me, like, there's a lot of games where you have to go into it with an expectation. Like, obviously, people are going to want to watch you play UFC because you're a fucking UFC champion. And so it's the same as like, like there's like a person that's really good at Counter-Strike, and so people all want to watch them play Counter-Strike. And it's like Street Fighter is it's also like fighting and like martial arts in the same extent, but there's not like as much of a direct connection. It's the same as like a lot of people, it's hard to branch out into that. But I do think that like, people want to watch Street Fighter also is it's a popular game. I think Street Fighter 6 is totally popped off. It's been
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the mechanics ain't done with the game. Absolutely prime. It's moist.
Yeah, I've watched it. I'm not really a big player of it myself. I don't really play fighting games. I like to watch. It might sound weird, but that's generally how it is. And I think for me, deciding like which game to stream versus which one that I don't want to stream, what I kind of base that off of is like how fast is the content happening? How much do I have to kind of, put myself into the content? Like, how repetitive is the content? And so, and also it's like your personality. Like, for example, like there's some people that have a great personality to play, like, for example, like these rage-inducing games. Like, for me, I don't, because I actually get mad. And so, like, then it's like, okay, well, now I'm banning people in chat for calling me bad. Like, it's just a bad experience, right? We're just an asshole, right? That's it. And so it's like, maybe I shouldn't play that kind of game. So I try to look for games that, like, really fit my personality more than, you know, like, just what's... I don't think a good stream game is, like, always objective. There's, like, some objective measurements, sure. But, like, there's also a lot of subjective measurements with, like, kind of what type of vibe do you go for? What's your personality? And, like, how does it fit with a certain game, or the way that you play a certain game, even?
Gotcha. No, I love, like, I always love when you play WoW, and you always give your honest critique of every expansion that comes out. Like, I'll sit there, listen to it, and when Shadowlands came out, so I give you some background on when I started playing WoW. I started playing WoW in Burning Crusade. I was training in the gym. I played with the dudes. We got this badass guy named Illidan. He's got these two swords. You know, there's one of the sharks there it is. Whoa, and you get this. You see the Blood Elves, the Draenei. When I started playing, I really loved the game. You know, I was also training full time, so I didn't have to find a guild or anything like that. I was always doing, you know, pick me ups. And my favorite raid was Karazhan. My favorite fight was the Morose fight, where you fight him at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And I played, you know, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, and actually played the one before Burning Crusade, which was Warcraft 3, the first one Throne, right?
Oh, yeah. I went so hard on that game. Yeah, I remember whenever it came out.
So I remember playing that, and then the game basically took off. Like, the game, World of Warcraft started after that, but Burning Crusade started right after that, after Warcraft. Fast forward, I didn't play Mist of Pandaria. I played Cataclysm. I played Warlords of Draenei, and then I played what's after that one? That's Legion, I believe, right? Legion?
Yeah, after WoD, it was Legion.
Yeah, Legion, and then Battle of Azeroth, and then Shadowlands. Shadowlands is when it all fell apart for me, and what killed it for me was, I remember I was a rogue, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go Kyrian, because you wanted, you know, the buff when you would hit your Kyrian specialty. And then, you know, the next patch, it's Sepsis. I forget what the Night Bane. It was that one. Then after that, it was Vampirian. And then you did a video, and you're like, you know what? You know about WoW? Your eyebrows are fucking talking for you. It's doing its thing. And then you're like, every time you make a decision, it's always wrong. You can't make a correct decision because let's say, this is how I want to make a character, but it's not right. It's not meta. And then next thing you know, nobody's gonna want to play with you. Nobody's gonna pick you up. They'll say you can't maximize your character. When you did that video, I was like, I'm definitely wrong. Like, I was like, Asma's right. Every decision I make, even though I think it's correct, it's absolutely wrong. That's what killed it for me. And you showed me the light, and now I haven't played WoW ever since. Even though I do miss it, I miss it dearly because I miss the Burning Crusade and I miss the Wrath of the Lich King. Now I'm like, I just don't ever see myself playing again.
Do you ever play Classic?
So I did play Classic, and it cracked me up because I remember I was trying to do a mission, and we were all lined up to kill one guy. Like, it was actually some we're like,
we do the same thing.
Like, it's like, dude, when is this character going to spawn so I can kill it? And then we all had a line. So I tried to play Classic, but I just couldn't get into it. It was just so hard to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Classic, there's a lot of time and investment you have to do, and, like, Season of Discovery is, like, kind of that in-between point. Like, if I was going to suggest anybody to come back and play WoW at all, it would probably be to try Season of Discovery, especially since now you have, like, more experience in it and everything like that. You can get more, like, you level up faster, basically. And it's a fun game, right? It definitely is. Like, for me, I kind of felt the same way about Shadowlands, and it was, like WoW for a long time, like, had this system where it was like they would always make you do the thing in a way that's not fun and then make the game fun later on, or make it more rewarding. And it's like you kind of have to play the bad version for some arbitrary period of time, and then finally you can actually, you know, have them fix the game to where it's like functioning properly. And I think that Blizzard kind of got away from that with Dragonflight, but the issue is that, like, the storyline and, like, the premise of Dragonflight, I don't think really resonates with a lot of people. It's like kind of, in my opinion, I think it's like really kind of like too soft, right? Especially compared to like how badass Illidan was or Warcraft 3. It's not. I'm like, what is this? Like, like this like every time is like the characters talking about how like they feel like hugging each other, like I just want to have like two dudes, like, you know, like Garrosh and Thrall, like beating the shit out of each other. Like, what is this? And so, yeah, like Dragonflight is like not really that same kind of vibe. But I mean, you know, Classic WoW still has that community to it, which is great. But you're right. Like WoW definitely isn't the same as like the way it used to be. I mean, even like 5 years ago, I think that like having BFA and like all the problems that were in BFA, and then Shadowlands to come in after that, and then like there was also that weird like sexual stuff in like the Blizzard offices, and then on top of that, Dragonflight was kind of like a like what is this expansion? I just think like wow, they kind of need to just do like a hard reboot of the game, I think.
Yeah. Well, I felt like there was one point in time where Blizzard was like top dog when it came to PC gaming, when like Diablo 2 came out, and you know, World of Warcraft, Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Tree came out. It was almost like they would call it the era of like Capcom, where Capcom had Devil May Cry. It had all the bangers for PlayStation 2.
Monster Hunter,
Monster Hunter. It was just, they were just killing it. And I felt like now Blizzard is having a hard time struggling, because Diablo 4 was a big letdown for me. Like when I played Diablo 4, I was like super excited about it. I love Diablo 2. Diablo 3 was kind of wishy-washy. You know, you do your rifts, and next you know, you got a weapon that's doing like 9 million damage. It's like, why do I need to do something with 9 million damage? Like, how fucking much health does this guy have?
Yeah.
It just completely lost me. And like now, seeing where they're at with Dragonflight, you know, Diablo 4 is pretty much a dud. I just saw you do a video about it. Like, you know, Diablo 4, they fooled us or whatever. Like, it's it makes me sad to see it, but it's like, how can a company so big keep taking L's?
I think that's the reason. Because they're that big. That's what it is. Well, it's like, you think about it, right? And if you have like Diablo had like what 600-700 people working on the game. Like, think about how long it takes to get a consensus on anything with 600 people. Think about how long it takes to like solve a problem whenever there's like 600 people, like 7 different levels of like administration that it has to go through and red tape. Then on top of that, there's like console compatibility that it has to do. Like, you put all of these things together, and I think that these big studios, like for example, Blizzard, Ubisoft, EA is kind of like this Activision, like they become too big instead of to fail, they become too big to succeed. They're so big that they can't move and like pivot and be agile enough to respond to what communities want and what players want. Because like they make a decision and then that decision takes 5 years to happen. Well, in 5 years, the entire gaming landscape is going to be totally different. And you see that with like Heroes of the Storm, right? Or like other games like that. Yeah, it's just too slow.
What man? What that quote you just said? The company's too big to succeed, and what was the other part of it?
Well, that's it, right? It's to be succeed. It's like turning a ship, right? It's like, you know, for example, like if you were in like a very small Viking longboat, you could have easily just turned away from the iceberg, right? The Titanic hit. But a big ship like that can't turn and move that fast. And I think that that's really that's the world that we're in. And you're seeing a lot of these like really small games, like things like Vampire Survivors and like all of the other clones that spawned off of Helldivers 2. And you're seeing a lot of these games that are like really, really strong, kind of small slices of an experience, rather than being these like massive blockbuster games that, you know, these companies invest over $100 million into, and nobody really cares about them. Like Suicide Squad, for example. It's like these games are supposed to be like, these huge live service games that are massive, and then nobody's playing them, right?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Like, I just started playing Helldivers, and you know, I started enjoying it, and I think what's killed gaming, not gaming for me, I have to reprogram my brain, because I would play Escape from Tarkov, I would play Street Fighter 6, where when you play that game, there's a hard consequence if you die. Like, if you die in Escape from Tarkov, you lose all your shit. It's like, well, it took me 30 minutes to get all my loadout, make sure I have the right ammo. I die, I lose it all. When I play Street Fighter 6, if I lose my ranking, and I'm trying to get master, that way I can start climbing the ring. When I play Helldivers, I died, I'm like, oh, I just died, I just do it over again. I died, I just do it over again. And somebody says, you're missing that endorphin release. You're searching for that consequence of dying or whatnot. Yeah. And I'm trying to reprogram myself and get into Helldivers. And so far, I think the game's done very well. I think I'm kind of curious to see what type of content they're going to keep on releasing down the line to keep players coming back for more, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
if I do, you know, the best experience I've had in a game so far is playing that little mini game on the ship. Like I
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, guys, I'm just down to play this game. Like, I don't need to go shoot bugs. I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. Like, having a smaller company that can be able to navigate in the ocean and dodge, you know, icebergs or wreckage ship or whatever is a lot more, I could say, applicable to be successful. But if you have a big Viking ship and it's like, guys, 700 people, we need to check what this guy's doing, what he's really going to do, that makes sense. I never really looked at it that way. And that's kind of like eye-opening with anything, I feel like. Even in like, when you said that, I was thinking about myself. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's true. Well, I mean, Dune 2, that's super successful. People are giving it 9 out of 10 in theaters. But that's 1 out of what? 10, right? Like,
well, like Madam Web, right? Like that movie comes out, people don't. Yeah, right. And so it's like it's not going anywhere because like you're right, and like you do have those like super good AAA experiences that are like insane. Like we had Elden Ring, for example, because there are the times, there are the times that the big, huge developer comes out with this amazing game and it's actually as good as people want it to be, right? It does happen. But I think that also, like, and that's kind of like the issue is that whenever it doesn't, like, whenever you have like a smaller scale game that doesn't really hit, well, it's like, okay, well, we're out, you know, like $20 million, $10 million, $50 million. That's bad. That's very bad. But it's nothing in the same realm as being out $500 million.
Oh,
especially
1,000%.
whenever it's a live service game. So now you're committed to running this game indefinitely whenever you're losing money on it every single month.
That makes sense. How come you haven't made a game? Like, I sit here and I listen to you, how you articulate your words, how you look at different games and what's going to be a great game, what's a fun game to play. And sometimes when I listen to you, you're like, guys, just make a fun game to play. People want to play games that are fun. And I sit here, I'm like, shit, well, how come Asmon hasn't made a goal? How come he hasn't made a game yet? Why haven't you got together with, you know, your boys, the One True King, which we'll get to that later. How come you guys sound like, guys, we're going to make a fucking badass game? Why hasn't that happened?
Well, the reason why is because I actually am working. Like, we started a publishing company to publish different games, Mad Mushroom, and we are going to be, like, publishing games and, like, working with developers. But the reason why I don't want to be directly involved with making a game is because I don't understand programming and I don't understand the way that a game is made on like a super fundamental, like nuts and bolts level. So like, I don't think that I can properly manage and give insight and be like, you know, if you ever like worked a job where it was like your manager didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and then like, right, yeah, and so like, I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh yeah, just go fix it, whenever I don't have any frame of reference to understand like what that job really means. And so that's kind of the reason why I don't go and do that myself. But I do want to be part of making a game or being involved in the game, but I don't want to be directly involved because I don't feel like that's not really what that's not what I'm good at, really. Like, I don't have the education or experience in it.
Gotcha. Hey, more power to you, because there's people out there who would, even though they don't have the education or the experience to do it, they would just do it anyways. I mean, shit, hell, that's probably half the staff at Blizzard, for all we fucking know. But
I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I sit here, I'm like, God, like, each time you do a review in a game, and you sit there, you play it through, you start the first game, and you go through 3 hours of it, and you give an honest review, and I'm like, God, I feel like you can make a really good game. You give honest criticism and critiques of games, and you also listen to what the community, like when I was going through this whole thing, you're like, guys, Blizzard, we didn't ask for this fucking amulet to level up. Like, nobody asked for this. So why are you doing it? But I just feel like you would be very successful in making a game, and I respect the fact that you don't have the education to do it. Well, I mean, if you, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, even though you're not, you know, the director of creating the game. You're involved in it, so I'd love to see, because I'm sure when you're going through making yes or no's, you probably like, guys, that's fucking stupid. Like, let's change that.
I've done that many times.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where things get done And since you guys are on a small Viking ship, you're able to navigate that sea very well.
Well, it's also, yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I think for me, yeah, you're totally right. Like, it's going to take a long time for us to get to the point to where we're publishing something that's of the skill and the scale of like World of Warcraft or like Diablo 4 or Helldivers 2. Like, that's like a huge stretch goal. I couldn't even imagine doing something like that right now. But the way that you get there is by doing little ones and then building yourself up to it. Like, you know, Blizzard's first game wasn't World of Warcraft either. So it takes a lot of time to be able to get to that position and experience too. And, you know, like, do I trust myself to manage something like that with little to no experience right now? No, I don't. And so, like, I want to, you know, like, further educate myself in the experience in the field and then effectively level up to that point.
Gotcha. No, I love it. I can't wait to see it, man. I'm a big fan. I can't wait to try one of these things to get produced. Now let's talk about the one true king. Okay, let's talk about this. What made you guys want to do this? I remember the intro video. You guys dropped the trailer. You guys were all about the bonfire. Yeah. It's you and your boys. You know, no marshmallows are being roasted. You guys got all these swords. I was looking for a Star Wars battle of the swords. Yeah. What made you guys come together and create this this organization?
Well, I think that a lot of the reasons, so like for me, I was invited to join another org, and then I thought to myself, like, okay, I could go do this, or I could just start my own thing and just do my own org. And it was kind of a really big idea at the time. This was like 2018, late 2019. And the reason why I decided to do it is because I thought to myself, like, this is a way to kind of like future proof and, you know, add context to like my career in a way that is going to last a lot longer than being a streamer. Because like at the time, I had only been a popular streamer content creator for maybe like 2 years at that point. And so even probably not even that long. And so like their streamers, like it's kind of weird for me to think about because whenever I first like started hitting 20 and 30,000 viewers regularly, almost every single person that was also doing that was doing that, right? There's like a huge amount of like a long time to kind of like get over the anxiety of that. And sometimes now like get stressed out, like, oh, let's harder and do this, right? And like, but that's a good thing because that means that you want to be. And so I'm not even complaining about it. Stop thinking that. That's the problem. And so like S-Fan and then I knew Tips. And then like we brought in Miskiff as well. And then like I started talking to Nick pretty much right away as well. And we thought this was a good idea for us to like do events and make content together, but at the same time, like actually be able to have like a system that supports it and we can monetize it the way that's like it's possible. Because back then, like there were a few types of like content orgs, like offline TV, you know, FaZe was kind of like this, and 100 Thieves was also kind of like this. But we wanted to go completely, like we had like one esports team that we supported for a while, but then we just decided that wasn't really the direction that we wanted to go in as like an org, and so we kind of like moved past that. But before then, we weren't really entirely sure how the org was going to go. And, you know, as time went on, like, obviously, like, different things happened. And then we started Starforge, and then we started, you know, like, Mythic Talent. And so we kind of found different ways to be creative outside of streaming as well, with, like, making different types of content and leveraging, like, our audiences and, you know, our experience with connecting with audiences, with selling different types of things and kind of bringing different things to our customers. You know, try to create, like, a better product that or didn't exist in a lot of cases before.
That's great when you mentioned that, like how you have the anxiety of 30,000 viewers, and then next year you might have 15,000 viewers. Yeah. And that's the hardest thing I feel when it comes to being a full-time streamer is relying on entertaining people, and when you entertain them, you're hoping they subscribe. You know, you'll get people subscribing throughout the year so that your monthly income. Like you've always lived, from my perspective of you when I watch your videos and when you go outside, you do your talks. You live a very simple life. You even did a video on it that you live a simple life. So for me, it's like you gotta have enough money to, if you wanted to stop streaming today,
To sam
I
upravo.
heard you used to work
Nemam
at the
pojma.
IRS, so I'm sure you're very good at paying
Kupali
your
smo
taxes.
se.
I'm sure you're very good
Aha.
at, maximize your 401k, your
Je
SEP
to
IRA,
ta
your S
telefona
corporation,
ili?
whatever you got going on.
Pa
If
nije,
you
ovo
wanted to
je
stop
sa
doing it
računara.
today, you
Aha, jesi uspio
probably don't
za
have to work
telefon?
ever again.
Jesam.
No,
I?
but I'm never gonna quit
Puno
it.
lakše kupiti kad hoćeš nešto kupiti nego preko računara.
Ja, šta hoš kupiti?
Zato što,
Yeah, and
zato
when I
preko
hear you
računara
have
tražiš da
I'm like,
kupiš na
man,
Steam pa da onda sa
you're good.
Steama.
You could always continue to work, but if nobody shows up, you're like, I'm still
A,
gonna
ako
keep
hoćeš
on
da
doing it.
uzmeš
That's what I
nešto
tell
u
my-
igrici.
That's what I tell my producer. I'm like,
Yep.
dude, as long as we keep making great content and content that we're
A
passionate
hoćeš da
about,
uzmeš nešto u
right?
igrici.
We can't
Uzeo
always
sam.
search for the best
Jebe,
story.
dragi, šta si uzeo?
Right now, Mike Tyson.
Ma uzeo ni crveni da mogu promijeniti ime.
About to happen on Friday. I'm like,
Jebe,
Jesus
dragi.
Christ. He goes, what do you think? Should we do video? And I was like, we'll do video.
Pa
down
pokušao
the
sam od kuće, ne.
Who's gonna win?
Ja,
Oh God.
U suštini hoće da uplatim na Steam, pa da
Da,
onda
da.
sa Steam bam.
pa da.
Da uplati
da.
na Steam trebam uplatiti preko
But let's
onoga
be
što je
honest,
bamo.
He's almost 60 years old. Jake Paul's a young guy, 28, 29.
Yeah.
Znači,
It's gonna
ja
come down
znam
to
kako
Mike
ide to.
Tyson's chin. And how is his body gonna respond?
Znači ako na Steam, preko Steama možeš uplatiti preko 12 eura.
Znači, na Steamu uplatiš, pa onda tamo igricu uplatiš.
Ja.
A ovamo kada dođeš ideš direktno, bez Steama.
Uplatiš direktno na 15 maraka.
Da.
Bez 12 eura.
7 eura.
Exhibition match, right? So like
Pa ja.
it's not going to go into like a knockout. I think that if it went into a knockout, I think that if Mike Tyson didn't knock him out in the first 3 to 5 rounds, Jake Paul would win. Because like as I said, like you look at all these clips of like Mike Tyson fighting. I've seen them. They're very, very short. You know, and he is almost 60. And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't want to fuck with him either, right? I mean, oh my god. You know, Mike Tyson, like, in my
Znači,
opinion,
boš.
he's one of the best boxers of all time,
Do,
right?
napravio sam
And
Forge 7 level,
it's like, absolutely, I would not
napravio
want to do
sam
that. But,
kutiju SSR
I mean, he's won a lot of
oružja
fights, and he is in shape, and it's not like,
i dobio sam
this guy's not the
zanimljivu
greatest
pušku.
fighter of all time. Absolutely not. But at the same time, he just has such a massive
Dobio sam
genetic
Heckler,
advantage
isti
because
koji
he's
imamo, na 40 nivo dobio. Samo crveni.
Crveni.
Da.
like those two.
E.
Just gotta run out of gas.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
the
I
last
think
time. Yeah, I mean, the last time Mike Tyson fought, he got high as fuck in the locker room. That's when he said when he fought Roy Jones Jr. He goes, man, I got high. Just so I could just move around and feel good and whatnot.
Sad je
So
na
we
prvom
switched
nivou
over to,
isti kao
fighting
onaj na
one-on-one
6.
I do if I have the opportunity. So, like, somewhere, I'll definitely pay attention to it and watch it. Like, for example,
Ali da unaprijedim ovaj, treba će mi Boga oca.
it's pretty fun to watch. And any other time.
Pa dobro, za očekivanje.
Ma ja.
Što veći, to više i više i više.
I do really like it. I like watching it. Like, I remember I was talking to somebody and like, we talked about real anime shit. That's what I told them. So like, yeah, I'm familiar with it though.
Do you have any favorite fighters you like to watch? I mean, I'm just trying to pick gauge like. Do you have any favorite fighters?
I don't know if I really
Oh,
do. I
yes,
don't know if
please.
I'm that-
Crveni.
I'm not into it. Like, I'm familiar with
Crveni
who the
kurac.
fighters are, and, like,
What do you think
I
of
know
Conor
that they-
McGregor?
Nemoj tako, prijatelj.
A crveni kurac, znači, iz cvijeća sam dobio običan item crveni, znači nije oružje, nije armor, znači jedno mi je šta dobijem. Najgore se tako dobijem onaj budalašnu koja mi neće ni koristiti nikada.
And it's like I was kind of happy whenever he lost against Floyd Mayweather, and whenever Khabib beat the shit out of him, I was like, "That's what you get. You know, you're such a dick." And it's like, I like Conor McGregor, but he definitely does play that character where it's like you want to see him win, and you also want to see him lose.
Shrapnel Pro Paint Bomb,
Gotcha.
fuck
Everyone
me.
knows who Conor is. I remember I was playing Counter Strike one day, and they're like, and I was streaming. They're like, they said the chat was like, "Hey, ask if they know who Conor McGregor is," and I was like, "You guys know who Conor McGregor is?" They're like, "Of course we do." You think you're living on a fucking rock? I was like, "Oh, do you know who Demetrius Johnson is?" He goes, "Nah, we don't know who that guy is." I was like, "Oh, well, fuck it. Let's just keep on playing, guys."
Oh man. Yeah, no,
so-
it's definitely like some of those fighters are like really, really well known. UFC's blown up in a huge way recently.
Yeah, it has. I mean, it's now. I mean, I work out at a gym right now.
Cheap boss.
At UFC Fit, and every single day I'm working out. You have ESPN on. You have the football highlights on. You know, that's over. You have
O,
basketball.
matori.
You have some fights on, but every single.
Pa hoćeš li ga puniti kada si prazan, jebote, on te jebo.
As a marketing machine. Like,
dečak, a joj, mrak je pao.
It's just those two months. One championship and the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense. Especially with UFC, you have like actual characters.
It's upalilo svet.
There isn't like this same like with a lot of talk. Like I mean, you have like for example, who it was the guy that played Michael Jordan, and he like went to North Korea. You know who I'm thinking of, right?
Dennis Rodman.
Evo još crveni item sam dobio neki od ovoga Titana. Vjerovatno bomba opet. Zašto je Jimmy kod mene? To meni nije jasno. Zašto Jimmy kad sam ovu bičarku tražio da bude? Jevo te, bog te, jevo.
Because they're actually interesting people. And like I think that's the big component that UFC has that a lot of like traditional sports doesn't have as much because it's a lot more controlled.
Gotcha.
I da vidimo crveno govno koje dobivamo jeste Claymore, fuck me.
That's where he did his last fight. Are you into, you know, getting bringing a sweat?
I mean, I definitely think I should. Like, I really do. I do exercise a little bit. I have like some weights down here, and you know, I did that sometimes, but like not really. I need to exercise a lot more, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I used to exercise pretty regularly. I used to be very fit before I played World of Warcraft.
Ljubo te sunce što ne kažeš.
And that kind of stopped happening. And otherwise,
hoćeš li nešto da tunel da riješiš mi?
To an extent too. Because like for me, I mean, I've always been like very skinny and naturally like feeling pretty, I would say, good. And so
Samo da promijenim
I'm a bit older now, so I want to make sure that keeps happening.
Samo sekunda.
Samo ime, pa šta čekaš da sada?
Ma, pišem s rodicom.
Jebote, sunac, šta pišeš sa njom?
By choice or is it just how it is?
Man se pisanju, slušaj, ako nije neke drugarice da ti nabaci za jebti i to. Aj promijeni ime od godina slučaj.
Nemoj pit vod.
They made a character of you. I don't think they made you bald. I can't remember when somebody made you bald in a game. And you guys like, guys, I'm not going bald. And then all of a sudden, I feel like you grew your hair out. You got a ponytail now. Let's talk about this baldness situation. How did this come about? Was somebody just fucking with you on the chat?
Well, it's the reason why people call me bald is because I am balding. I do have a receding hairline, and that's the reason why. And it's like, because I was actually talking about this in my chat today, and like the truth is that like my hairline hasn't really gotten that much worse ever since I was like 24 or 23, but it's definitely fucked up, right? And to me, like, I don't really know why. I mean, every guy in my family is pretty much kind of bald and like, you know, has like receding hairline, so I've kind of got things stacked against me. I thought about, like, I told everybody I would at least go in for, like, there was like a charity thing that I did, and I said, like, for a charity goal, I will go in and get at least a hair transplant consultation, right? I'll, like, I'll record it and talk to them and just, like, get, you know, see what they say, right? It'll be kind of embarrassing for me, but, you know, that's part of the show, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I would definitely, like, for me, I can't go bald because I'm too skinny. So like if I went, but I mean, because you know what that looks like, right? It's like if you're a bald guy and you're in shape, you're a big dude. Like look at me, like Jeff Bezos, fucking massive now, and he's bald and he looks awesome, like The Rock or like even you. And so that looks great. But it's like if you're skinny and you're bald, it's like, oh man, that's just it's just not gonna cut it. So,
well, I mean, you can always get on TRT, and then all you gotta do is go to Turkey and get a consultation in Turkey, and you just they'll take care of you, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what might have to happen, man. I might have to take a quick trip over to Turkey and just solve the problem. But I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, honestly, because I like having hair, and like even if I want to shave my head or whatever, I like the option of being able to have hair. But you know, I usually change my hairstyle pretty regularly, at least a little bit. But recently, I've decided to change it to different ways that obscure the fact that I'm balding.
Gotcha. Huh, well, I can't wait to see what we do next. I think it's about that time you're about to change your hairstyle. If I'm following you're changing up soon.
Yeah, it might definitely happen pretty soon.
What game are you looking forward to coming out? Obviously, Ashes of Creation is a big game I see you doing a lot of content on, but I don't know when that's coming out.
Promijenio ime.
What in the near future are you looking
Jesam.
forward to coming
Sigurno.
out? Obviously,
Sigurno.
Elden Ring, Shadow of the Elder Tree is coming out.
Yeah.
What other games are you looking
Znači,
forward to?
bože. Tako staviš i nema priče.
A jebote, pa nisam znao zašto služi, ono...
And then after that, like,
Ništa,
you know, I'm
ovaj...
sure that, like, Cataclysm will come out and I might play that for a while.
Koji ćemo
And
krenuti,
then
znači...
afterwards, yeah, Elden Ring,
Lagani
Shadow of the
neki.
is like a really, really big one. And after that, maybe, yeah, hopefully an Ashes of Creation beta or like an alpha that people can actually play in. Because I've been keeping up with the game for a long
Znači,
time and
dvije
it's been
partije
great,
odigramo.
but I'd like to see actually and play it myself.
Why Dragon Dogma 2? Why are you
Gdje ćemo, onda ćemo na ostro ići.
I've seen parts of
Nećemo, onda ćemo na bossa ići.
I never
Kako
really got
bossa?
into it,
Ajde
but
idemo na
why are
bossa.
you so excited to play number 2?
Koliko je sati? 14:13, 14:33, pa da, tama u pravu si.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is the first game that I feel like has ever encapsulated my favorite movie of all time, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the
Ja
Ring.
tebi govorim da je vaka, ti meni ne vjeruješ, šta ti vidi?
Ma ja,
Adventurers
to je
go
najgore.
out on an adventure together, and the immersion feels like they're not like just simply NPCs. They are, of course, but they behave like normal people and they act in ways that are dynamic that make the content more interesting. And I think that the idea of going out on an adventure with other people, Dragon's Dogma,
Idemo.
in a lot of ways even better than some MMOs. And so that's what I found to be like very interesting about it, because I know a lot of other games that try to do that, but it just doesn't really happen.
Now, is it a multiplayer game
Tako
or is it a single player
znači.
game?
Single player game, that's
Vidi,
the thing.
jel se vidi puška?
Even number 2 is?
Yeah, it's single player.
Vidi,
Unfortunately, I'd like the
pije vode,
multiplayer, but you
vidi,
know,
vidi.
it is what it is.
A,
Gotcha, because I
ima,
think
ima
when
svjetlo
something
na
like
njoj,
that,
ima
I feel
nišan,
like,
znači
you
moćan
go
nišan, znači bože.
adventure with your
Yeah.
buddies. That's one of the things I always felt like Elder Ring was kind
A
of
ista
missing.
ona.
Like,
Exactly.
you know, even Dark Souls 1, 2, 3,
Ček.
you know, Blood.
Da, nisam.
Like, man, how dope would it be? It's like, hey, you know, Asma's gonna be, you know,
A ima onaj dobar skop.
healer, or not healer,
Da,
but
da,
you're
da.
gonna be a mage. I'm gonna
To je
be a
najbolji skop.
samurai, you know.
To su
one
napravili
person
uopšte
is
za
gonna be
heklere.
this person. We're gonna start with one, and we're gonna grind like 30 hours together. Nobody could play without us. Almost like if you take the same thing with War of
Kalaš je
Warcraft,
jaka
you
puška,
put it
sam
in
što su
Elden
im
Ring,
nišani sjeban.
where it's like,
Right.
hey, you have a massive city.
Realno, na metar kad promašiš cent, na 10 metara ode metar.
New
Ma
World,
ja, to je.
almost like New World, but make it
Ma i
more
Hekler, a Hekler ne može
better
dobaciti
graphics, I
toliko.
think, give the
Mhm.
person more options to have combat, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if they can make like New World and Elden Ring, and then have Elden Ring and New World get married, and then one of those two has an affair with World of Warcraft, I think you have the perfect game.
Oh man, I really love it. I'm gonna be honest. Like there's that, and there's also
Koji meni izgura imam u...
2 that's coming out.
What the-
Throne and Liberty is coming out. Korea, it's got like.
Tako da se meni
Japan.
sviđa
It's
ovaj.
probably not gonna be that great of a game, but and
A i vidio sam jednu stavku, znači onaj, da je neko tamo stavio da je najveći potencijal za damage ima ova puška od SMG-eva. Submachine gunova.
Znam te razumijem, što ima?
Kažem od ovih malih mašinkica, submachine gun. Znači da je ovaj najbolji.
It's like, oh, you have to do this like New World, like you had all these different places where you were storing the same ingredients of things, and you had
Samo
to
što
go
nisam dobio
travel
Tommy gun da
over the
vidim da li
premises
valja
so
ili ne valja.
annoying, right?
Zato što
And,
Tommy
yeah,
gun
it's
ima
really
duplo
what it
više
was.
metaka,
And
50 od
it's
ovih
like,
25.
what is this? Like, why are you
A
doing this?
assault
Like,
rifle,
like,
Kalašnikov
it's the same thing with
najbolji,
WoW, it's like,
a
why are you,
snajperi,
like, with BFA, for example, like corruptions were
diskutabilno.
great.
Onaj što se može praviti, on je najjači damage ima, ali za mene bi najbolji onaj automatski što ide.
And I don't know how to address that. You know, what do you do there? I have no idea.
See, I'm shocked like nobody's ever gave you an opportunity to come on. Like if I was
A
Blizzard,
čipoš.
I'm like, Asthma Gold thinks he's so fucking smart. Come here, Asthma. We're gonna give you a fucking six-figure
Ma
salary.
postavljaš i u
If you don't
sljedeću.
fix this fucking
Ma
game,
sad
we're
ga
gonna
ja
give you a year
stavljam.
and see if you can fix it.
Da što
I'm
prije
shocked
završimo,
nobody
da ne
has ever
pitam
given
se
you
hoćeš
the
stići na
opportunity to come on and be on
bossa.
the board and help fix their games. Like Ash is a
Ali gdje
great
ću ja
example.
čekat bossa
I'm
nego
shocked,
on
like,
mene
hey,
da čeka.
Asman, can we come here, test the game? I want your brutal, honest opinion about what can make this game better at the stage it's at right now. Nobody's ever gave you the opportunity.
Well, I mean, like, number one, there's no way that Blizzard will offer anybody a six-figure salary. But number one, yeah. Number two, I do think that, like, yeah, you're definitely right. That, like, it would be nice to help and work on a game, but, like, honestly, I'll do it for free. I just want to play a fun game. Like, that's all there is to me for it. Like, I'm not worried about getting paid or making money off of this particularly. Like, I just want to play a fun game. You know, I'll always give my insight into, like, what I think that developers should do. And I think that a lot of developers do this. You know, and, like, you'll see a lot of changes that get made in the game because of, like, community feedback, whether it's me or somebody else or anything.
Jo, ova dvojica mi Squito zadržavaju.
I've seen more games that actually, like, are actively listening to communities. You know, like, with like, I don't really like telling them, like, the developer has, like, their own vision for, like, what they want the product or the content to be. And I think that they should adhere to that vision. But I also think that in order to adhere to that vision, they have to fully understand and so, like, there are negative versions, or negative, like, aspects of the content. And I wish that more people was able to see those negative aspects as well. And that's why some of the videos that I do, it's not like the developers have to do this, but it's like, if the developers don't do this, this is how it's going to affect the game. This is what's going to happen.
Gotcha. And where do you think you get that insight from? Do you get that insight from, or that perspective from? Do you think you get that from just playing so many games? Because, you know, you're playing.
Temo.
I mean, you played Helldivers, you played Dragon's Dogma 1, you're getting ready for number 2. Like, where do you feel like you get that edge, as you call it? Like,
I think that one part of it is that I just listen to what people tell me. I listen to what people say. And, like, you have people that are saying, like, hey, we don't like this. This is a bad thing. And I think about it and I look at it logically, like, okay, how does this actually work? How is this fitting into the gameplay? And is it really fun, or is it something that's just added in for no reason? And I think what ends up happening is that you have a lot of types of content that get added into a game, and it's just put in there, and the developers kind of get, you know, they dig in and they're like, this is our position, this is the way we want to make the game. And a lot of times it happens in a way that's very reactionary. It's not something that's like about how to make the game better. It's like about them trying to preserve like this thing that they really want players to do. And so the way that I figure out things that are like good or bad is like, I'm a very lazy guy in a lot of ways. And so because I'm so lazy, I think about what would a lazy person do. And that it gives you a lot of insight. It does. Because the lazy ass people are the ones that make the metas. They're the ones like, how can you put in the least amount of effort in a video game and still succeed? And that's going to be the YouTube video that's most popular. Because that's what people want to be able to do. So I think really this is the reason. And like also like I don't have any sort of like crazy insight into video games. But what I do have is that I have the ability to like listen and look at what people are saying and then react to that and respond to it and then be like, hey, I think they're right about this. This is accurate and this isn't. And I think that's what this video needs a lot more.
Guys, when you said lazy people, I was thinking I was driving to the gym the other day with my son, and he goes, Dad, why are people homeless? And I go, because they're fucking lazy.
No other explanation. Yeah, there's lazy.
No. That was one of them. And I told him other situations, like, you know, some people get sick, they fall into drugs, da. But my first honest reaction was like a lazy because I mean, people at our friend who was like, running drugs, man, I'm gonna 15K a pop, da. And next you know, he goes to jail, he gets out, he goes, all right, I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna get a job at Home Depot. He got his fucking first check after working 40 hours a week, and he was like, I don't know, like, it was like $600. He goes, you fucking kidding me? He goes, back to drugs, right? Exactly. I I was just laughing, and that's why, you know, he went down that road, and then now he's doing good. But you just said lazy people, you know, when you're making a game, you're thinking about what would a lazy person do when they play this game, and that's going to be the meta, because it's going to be the easiest way to get it done and be successful at playing the game. And I just never looked at it that way. And it's
Idemo
absolutely
dalje.
hilarious, I think.
Za iste pare.
Yeah, that's the thing is a
Za
lot of
iste
people
pare.
like being lazy isn't always a bad thing. It just is bad if you're not doing anything. But like being lazy is also being efficient in a lot of cases. So like for me, like I want to get something done with like as much time or effort as possible. That way, if I do it 50 times or I only have 2 hours, I can get the most out of those 2 hours. And so I think that it's just like a matter of mindset and understanding how players think and how players
Ma, znači odradimo još jedno i onaj boss ide.
I think really good game designers, like the people that made classic WoW or like people that made Elden Ring, that's the kind of like really like genius insight that they have, is that they can understand where people are coming from for these different things and try to like video game design. I think especially for MMOs, it is game design, but a lot of it is psychology too. And the best designers, I think, understand the psychology just as well, if not better, than the actual game design itself.
Damn. Okay. All right, before I let you go, thank you so much for your time, man. Absolutely amazing. What is two last questions?
Yeah.
One, what is the best transmog that always gets the W when you used to do the transmog? You know, you go to this server, you do transmog competition, you go to this server. What's one that's like, oh, yep, that's what it is. This one wins, guys. I'm sorry, it's game. It's a W. What is it?
If I had to say like anyone that I really like, I would say that any combination that makes Warrior Tier 3 gear look different than it already does, but it's also still really cool would be a winner. Because that's pretty much my favorite.
Which one was the hardest for you to get? Like for me, I've always, I never forget when, you know how when you play the game and then eventually you're at what, burning, Battle for Azeroth, for example, you go back and do the Black Temple and you keep on doing every single week to hope you get the, you know, Illidan's drop. Which one was it for you that you grinded the most to get?
If I had to think about that one, I actually think that it would indeed be
Really?
Yes. So, and all of this happened before I streamed. So no.
To smije to, jesu.
Aha, nis stao sam nešto
I got the first word wave.
Da se ne guram za vama, ba. Pucajte samo u njega.
Doing it to myself without anybody else knowing. And so, as karma for
Ja najvolim kad imaju dva zombija pucati, znači ako proleti pored jednog da pogodi drugoga. Šta je ovaj jedan ubio Squito i jebote sunce? Ukrade nam 200 ovih kristala.
Towards like the middle or end of Cataclysm, an entire expansion later of farming it every single week, I finally got it.
Wow.
And so yeah, that was brutal.
So chat, for the viewers, I said chat. For the viewers who don't understand how World of Warcraft works is that you have
Ne znam niš dugo ubiti, ali njega znam.
in there, and you have, I think it's 20 or 25, or was it?
Well, back then it was 25.
Back then 25. Molten Core was 40 people, right? I think Molten Core was 40. But so you had 25 people, and you all have your own jobs, and you get one.
Još ovaj, to je to, jel tako?
Ja, onda boss i onda idemo na ostrvo. Da farmamo one recepte.
For the offhand to drop because it's bad karma, and I'm assuming when you alluded to yourself, you were kind of the what's it called, the guild, not the guild leader. You were the party leader, and you get to dictate because everybody rolls for it.
I was the master looter.
You're the master looter, so nobody knew that it dropped, and Asma just slid right into his little satchel.
I was like, guys, I'm gonna need this just real quick, like, and then one guy was mad. I'm like, that's me. Don't worry about it. You know, it is what it is. That's the old game, right? That's the old me. And so I did that, and the entire expansion bar and the other one. But I did definitely get it.
Yeah. Okay, and then what is your favorite raid in an expansion?
I think my favorite raid is World War. I really, really like World War. And besides World War, Throne of Thunder from Mists of Pandaria was an incredibly good raid. I really enjoyed that a lot. Personally, I also like the first raiding tier of Cataclysm. And I just thought, like, everything, again, like WoW and like looking back, there's like always so much like nostalgia that goes into it. Because I think about like what was I doing back then. I remember like I had just finished a semester in college, and like it was like Cataclysm came out, and I just joined this new guild. Like all the boys were back together, and so it was like, all right, let's go. So like I was so excited and so happy about that. So I would say that probably was those are some of my favorite raid tiers. But if I had to say one, it would be Old War.
Gotcha. Now, what about your favorite expansion?
Favorite expansion? I think Classic WoW is the best version of WoW. I do, and I don't even think it's close. The reason why is like Classic WoW is the only game that's a true like MMO experience more than just like right now, like you play retail WoW, and it's basically everybody sitting in the city waiting to queue into another type of activity. Whereas like in Classic WoW, you have reasons to go out in the world and explore the world. You have reasons to go do different things in the game. And I think that makes a real MMO. I think that a lot of developers and even Blizzard now struggles with how to make a game that has friction in the game without making it just awful. Because like you want to have friction, you want to have a little bit of like texture to different problems the game has. Like not really problems, but like challenges the game has. But the problem now is that I think a lot of games are focusing too much on trying to overcome those problems rather than giving people the tools to solve them and feel good about solving them.
Gotcha. Well, I think two things on that.
Šta misliš da ima još najviše?
Ja jevo te sunce.
Lazy.
Sad nema mašinke, ja.
Play, you know, the original classic WoW. It's like, oh man, I gotta run all the way over here to get this mission done, or I have to farm this much copper veins to level up, and then I gotta make it. I gotta do it. But when you did that, you have to put the hour, you have to put the grind in, and you can show off. Like there's some sense of like affirmation that you did that. It's a payoff. Yeah, it's a payoff. For now, it's like you're right. Oh, I got a queue. Like I think there's a plus and a minus. I think the plus to it for a guy like me who has 3 kids and a wife, I sit in the city. I'm gonna do one dungeon real quick. I'm gonna get off. I don't have time to sink 2 to 3 hours in. I'll never forget. I was playing WoW one day. The wife went to work. We used to work at Red Lobster, and I was alone road in Hills Flat Foothills. And I remember putting 3 hours into the game, and I remember after 3 hours, I looked at my fucking inventory, my satchel. I got nothing done. I just ran around the foothills for 3 hours, and I'm like, I'm wasting my time, but I had a good time. I enjoyed it. And then I think the second one was when they released Cataclysm. I think that kind of because I was so involved with the Cathalis, the Sunwell, Illidan, you know, just that whole frequency, you know, Arthurus. And then when Deathwing came out of the fucking death hole, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I didn't hear about him. I'll always hear about Sargeras, the Legion, all those guys. I'm like, what's going on? And that's what kind of like pushed me away from WoW. The Mists of Pandaria, I didn't even play that one. I was like, we got fucking pandas fighting each other. I was just like, damn it. But yeah, I miss WoW.
Oh man, like and like Legion though, Legion did have that storyline again. I was really happy. Like that was fucking badass. Remember, like especially Illidan, just like it's like disenchanting Gul'dan and just like follow me into the abyss.
Oh
like,
yes.
Wow, like yes, this is what I want to see. And even Warlords of Draenor, like cinematics all time.
Squito.
Blizzard is probably the king thing of cinematics.
They're
like,
so good.
Yeah, it's like, damn, can we just play this game? Can we just do cinematic the whole fucking time?
That's what the Warcraft movie was gonna be. Hour and a half cinematic, and like I'm like, okay, I'm excited. This is what I want.
Yeah. Rip. Oh man. Okay, Azin, this is your opportunity to tell people where they can find you, your socials, YouTube, Twitch, Where can they find you?
You'll find me. That's it.
Don't worry about the Wikipedia, boys.
Yeah, don't worry about any of that. You just find me. Just Google any of the results. You're probably going to Twitter, anything like that.
Još su ona dvojica, bo.
Ovo, mrtvi ba, davno.
Absolutely. One more question for that, and then I'll let you go. How do you feel about the new, where streaming's going, right? What I mean by streaming is like you have Twitch, you have YouTube, you have Kick, you had fucking Mixer, you had Facebook Gaming, and how do you feel, you know, the landscape is for streaming, right? Because some people would say like, you know, Kick is a Twitch killer
Dosta.
because they're offering, you know, content creators 90% instead
Sad,
of
hoću da vidim nešto
50,
napad.
50,
Ma.
70, 30.
Samo ti polako, onako će nas izbaciti.
How do you see the
Pa uđi
landscape
kad
of
uđeš.
streaming now? Because you've been streaming for a very, very long time, right? You see guys get exclusive content, exclusive contracts to YouTube, like Doc, Tim, Shroud, Dr. Lupo, all these guys. How do you see the landscape? Where I feel like I'm sure if you want to go to Kick, you can go to Kick because they'll give you a big ass contract. YouTube, same thing. Mixer, you could have did that as well. But for you stayed true to who you were because you built a community. But how do you see the landscape right now when it comes to streaming?
Yeah, I had opportunities to go to other platforms, and the reason why I didn't is I just didn't really feel like it was worth it in the long run. Because like I don't view myself like I don't really plan on ever retiring from streaming or like stopping doing it. Like let's say in 20 years, like there might be something else that I'm doing more of than streaming, but I never feel like I'm going to just stop streaming entirely, if that makes sense. And because of that, like I don't want to sabotage my own career or sabotage my own audience or like the way people see me by trying to like go after money, because money I think is going to happen no matter what, as long as you're really putting in the work and you know, putting in good content for people. So I don't really have a problem with people that do go to the other platforms. I think it's a great decision, right? Especially for somebody with like Dr. Lupo, who like had a wife and kid at the time, and it's like this just secured his future for like for good, right? And his kid's future. And it's like,
A išao vid samo, jel da nije vjetar sinuo crije pomak.
Depola, znači, imaš vremena koliko hoćeš da uđeš u partiju.
Now, obviously, a lot of people have been like critical of the way that Kick, you know, like the way it exists, right? Is like, is it, oh, it's because of gambling or whatever? Like for me, I don't.
Čekaj, u tunelu se oružje ne kvari.
It's true, but Twitch also
Ne.
has gambling content on it.
To je
More
dosta.
gambling content.
Zna se di na bosu se ne kvari ovo, be. Sam se kvari kad igraš normalnu igru.
Ja.
Sve ostalo.
But if somebody wants to, that's totally
Brutus.
fine, right? And like I have no problem. Like,
Kvari se, šta se ostalo kvari, sve se kvari.
I'd rather just be on a platform that didn't support this stuff. I really respect people's opinion to like or their autonomy, right? It's like their choice to be able to watch this or not, or be part of it or not. So I'm not against it either, but what I do think is important is that, you know, like content creators think about the long term. I think that you see a lot of content creators nowadays, especially like the ones that are trying to get popular by doing, you know, like harassing people in public and stuff like that. I think that kind of, it's weird, right? And it's weird. And I also think that the problem with it primarily is that I don't think that it's going to last. Like if you do this, you create an audience of people who like seeing somebody get fucked with, and eventually you're going to get fucked with and they're going to like seeing that too. And also like, it's content that has a shelf life. And so I just hope a lot of those guys like are aware of that, and they start trying to like make things that have more longevity as well, and like develop a career that has longevity, because you're already starting to see some of those like kind of like prankster people kind of just like completely, you know, fall off. And it's like, well, now you can't really go back on anything, right? It's like how can you get a job in like the real world even, because you have like this weird reputation. So there's just so many problems with it. And so that would be my advice.
Yeah, I never understood that when people would be obnoxious on stream, and it would generate so many people. Like my kids, they watch iShowSpeed. I don't know iShowSpeed.
I think Speed's great. I mean, and Speed in general, like I don't think he's really that bad of a dude. I like Speed. I think Speed's great. But like it's more or less like the harassers. Like Speed does things that are crazy and goofy, but there's other people that are like actively hostile and like aggressive. and like they'll go in public and like harass people for content. Like Speed usually just, you know, he sets his own room on fire, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, I'll sit there and my kids are watching. I'm like, I'll be, you know, I'll be making breakfast, and I just see a kid on TV just yelling, like blowing my speakers up. I'm like, why is that guy fucking yelling so loud?
Right.
And I'm like, I'm like, I've never, I'm like, I'm so disturbed. You guys are finding this entertaining. He just needs to relax, drink a glass of water. But that's what the people like. Just chill out, right? And that's just my personality. Like sometimes I do be wilding out, but never obnoxiously where it's like, okay, this guy is looking for views. And I'm not saying I should speak because I've seen some of his content where he's at Brazil dancing and doing his thing, which that's like the type of content I enjoy. And I never forget when I saw Kick first came out and I saw this guy who was trying to get a hand job from a hooker, and he had two dudes in the room. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? I'm not like, why not just do this off stream so I can, I totally agree with you. Like guys who are looking for creating content around that stuff where it's like kind of like taboo. They're not gonna last forever.
Snajper, to je taj snajper. Evo ga pored mene i nosi čuva. Kalašnikov je snajper, a ne automatski.
As Speed gets older, like obviously he'll probably do less of the yelling content in general. And really, I mean, Speed's a really young guy, and so like he's making content for other young guys. And like we're not as much young guys anymore, so it's like it doesn't necessarily relate to us as much. And so I don't have a problem with Speed's content at all. I think it's great because like that's what young guys want to see. And I remember whenever I liked content that was like that, whenever I was a kid, and now there's other kids that are into it as well. I think that the only problem is whenever you have content that is so like toxic in nature that it becomes like you're never really going to be able to, like it escalates so fast that it naturally has a very, very short shelf life of interest, because people that watch that kind of stuff always like seeing the ante up and up and up. And eventually if somebody ups it too much, like Ice Poseidon did, and you know, he had that thing where he was like, he got a bomb threat on an airplane, and Twitch just permanently banned him. They said, this is too much, right? Because this like now we are providing a platform for somebody who effectively got a bomb threat called on an airplane because of his stream. And so I think that, you know, people that do that, like, I don't think that in a lot of cases they're like these really bad, horrible people that like, oh, let's talk about how bad these are. They're just usually kids looking for attention and trying to do it. And it's like obviously bad that they're doing it, but I don't really take it as personally or think that they're like really horrible people. It's just, you know, that's what they're trying to do. They're doing their best, and it's not really that great. But I just hope that they have a viewpoint of like, where is this going to go in like 2 years even, you know, on your streams, because you're probably not going to make enough money to live for the rest of your life in 2 years.
No, shit, I wish I could, but not gonna happen. And I got nothing but love for I Show Speed. Just when I turn on the goddamn TV, my kids are like, I'm like, what? Turn that motherfucker down. I don't know why he's yelling. And I forget that he is young. I think he's like 20, 21 or something, 19.
Man, I don't even know if he's like much. Yeah, he's really young.
So he is still a little younger. So yeah, I give him a stop for my dad. Samsung TV, God damn it. All right, Asmund, thank you so much for your time. An absolute treat. I've always been a big fan of you, man. I love the content you keep up posting on YouTube and all the reaction videos. And your eyebrows, like, how do your eyebrows move like that? Do you always move like that?
Because I was streaming and it was like a reward thing.
Noga.
I started doing it more, and it just kind of.
It's like my first video. I was watching, I was like, move his eyebrows, babe. She goes, yeah, they move a lot. I was like, it's like its own brain. Like, you see it? Do you see it? Oh, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Mighty Cast with the great Asmund. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you like, subscribe. Also, if you want to go live, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And we'll see you guys next time.
Joj, manime se, čoveče.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Jebem ti Kriš.
Napali ovi dole zombi i ne daju dihati. Ne, ves.
It's absolutely hilarious. And he's right.
Ovi su non stop u top 3.
Is play a good game. And when he made that analogy that if you have a company
Što je bilo?
Kažem, ovo troje su uvijek u top 3.
one single game,
Ičak, KC, 555 i Red Queen. Meni je bitno samo 100 pahuljica da dobijem i
Koji si ti?
18.
and you're navigating the sea, you have 20.
Ali ti nisi sa mnom.
Yes, it might take
Nisam.
longer.
Ja
Izgleda
sam
da
17.
nisam.
Yes, it might take longer for
Nisam sa tobom.
but the
Kasniš,
channels it has to
kasniš.
go through in order to make those changes to listen to